Hello, this is Kent and Renee Miller, and today we're going to be talking about how the process works when somebody is healed by another person.
It's called outside focal point, releasing the truth from within.
Now talk a little louder.
Okay, it's called outside focal point, releasing the truth from within.
So, does another person really heal another? And we're being told, well, maybe so for some instances, but most instances, it is happening from within the person who is being healed.
Okay, first of all, we start with background environment.
So what is background environment? We've talked about this before, but to refresh your memory, that's how we grew up, what we've been taught, what we've been exposed to, what we have experienced that form our belief systems and our perceptions of the world and ourselves in which we live. And they can be real or imagined. It's a lot of times it's just exactly that. It's just perception. So,
the subconscious programs running like on our own computer. Our mind is like a computer, but running on our own computer. But many of them, they cause self-destructiveness.
Right, and especially if we have a lot of self-judgment, guilt, that sort of thing, it causes us to have a false perception of who we really are. And then we start feeding ourselves these ideas about, how I'm a bad person, or I'm this, or I'm that. And these are false perceptions.
What adds to it? Poor diets, drugs.
Out of
alcohol,
that can spawn
stress.
All these other behaviors, these very self-destructive behaviors that can spawn out of these programs that are running in the background that are feeding us poor perception of self.
Yeah, but stress really is a major thing. What does stress do? What causes stress?
So a lot of, and chronic stress especially, creates the release of stress hormones, especially the cortisol, which happens to turn off the immune system. So when you have chronic stress, your immune system is not efficient, is operating at a sub level, and you're going to be more open to not only colds and flus, but if that continues for a long period of time, then you are, especially when you combine it with these self-destructive behaviors like smoking, like poor diets, like drugs, alcohol, and the like, when you combine those factors, then you are increasing significantly the risk of disease. And so
suppressed immune system.
A suppressed immune system combined with poor choices can lead to disease. And you have to factor other things in, like environmental chemicals and environmental exposures, genetics, that sort of thing, all add to that picture. So we're talking in generalities here. And so are these subconscious programs real? What are we telling ourselves?
Real to the person having them.
They are perceptions, but they're perceptions that people really tend to believe. And when we can correct those perceptions about another, or if they can correct the perception about themselves, then they are allowing the body to realign, but they're also allowing the body to work the way it was originally designed. So the immune system can start to function properly, and all these other factors can be supportive of the body healing itself.
So who are we, really?
So in reality, we are spiritual beings. That is our natural state. This physical state is not our natural state. This is an experiential learning field that we have come to learn. And so the only thing we take with us
is learning.
Is the learning that we've gained. We don't
Yeah.
take anything else with us. And so that's really the most important thing. And we need to stop holding ourselves hostage with self-judgment and
especially
guilt.
if we don't take anything with us except what we've learned in this particular life. Now,
so this life is like the yin and yang. Karma is the ability to experience both sides. So, it's not being punished for something in the past. It's only that the soul chooses to experience one side of the coin and then at another time experiences the other side. And this gives us balance in our understanding.
Well, healing comes from within, the true healing. And there are items or focal points outside of us that help us focus on healing. And we say, oh, these people are miracles or workers or whatever we call them. But the healing actually happens within our own body. We shift our own system within ourselves
to allow that healing to occur. Now, Kent has had a instantaneous healing or miraculous healing, whatever term you like to use. Maybe you can explain what happened to you.
Well, it's a long story. Basically, I believed I could be healed. The Creator could heal me if the Creator desired. And I asked the Creator to heal me so I could be used as a tool. And lo and behold, the second cancer I went through one cancer, went through chemotherapy, and I had to learn what it was like going through that. The second cancer had a tumor about the size of a large orange, totally disappear. X-rays and everything showed the tumor, and when they did surgery, it was gone, basically. So with that, when I knew I could be healed, I didn't try to, but I could probably move the mountain. I was 100% sure that I'd been healed. But people around me did not believe it. So you have to believe within that you can be healed. Total belief.
Now, I want to ask you, was there a shift in your thinking about the perception of who you were? And some sort of shift happened within in your thinking.
Yeah, because two other people had the same disease that I had, and they didn't make it. They were younger than me. So I had to think, why was I kept here? What value am I to the Creator to be kept here and used? Well, I eventually learned what that was. But I had to learn it by reaching out to others that had the same type of cancer or other types of cancer and helping them mentally try to heal themselves. I could not heal them, but I tried to teach them that they could heal themselves. And most did not believe they could heal themselves, and they passed away. But then I've done some research, and I found out if you have a focal point of which you can rely on, such as John of God. He uses the people to heal themselves. And then he uses herbs to strengthen your body. Many others, I'm sure, in the world do the same thing, but it's a focal point that you can rely on, and you think, I believe in this person, but once you believe in a focal point, then you're ready to believe in healing within.
So some people are able to heal themselves because they can shift within their own thinking, and they shift away from the false perceptions of oneself to a closer alignment to who their true self is at the soul level. And they have the faith to be able to allow the body to realign itself. So the body also is in discord when our thoughts are not aligned to the truth, but the body knows different. And so that also causes inflammation in the body and anxiety, and it feeds also the poor choices.
And many people need that outside focal point to help them. They don't believe in themselves. That's why.
Yeah, and so some of these healers can use rather unconventional ways of healing, and they may seem absurd to other people, but they provide a service for others that works because they can provide the outside focal point that person who's being healed can believe in. Yeah. So it's an individualized thing. And they can prescribe the healing herbs, the herbal medicine.
Put the body back in balance.
Right. And so it can be effective in that way.
So once you've learned how to see this, you're able to connect the dots. And I'm saying connecting the dots, many things were happening to me, and I never connected the dots. I never saw what was really happening. So once I began to see what was happening and how I was going to be used, that was quite kind of exciting and interesting, even though I doubted myself for a long period of time. I had others confirm my abilities, others other than myself. So healing techniques can seem very absurd and defy reason for those outside the process.
Outside the event.
Yeah.
And so the event, which is spoken of in the book, would be, in this case, would be the healing itself. And that comes from within the person being healed. And sometimes for others, it requires the outside focal point. The seeker themselves creates this event, and they create the healing. The healer serves as the outside focal point. And so, other things like herbal medicine may be added to that mix to allow the body to realign and rebalance to make it happen.
The seeker, those looking to be healed, capitulates to something that makes sense to them in their mind. And once it makes sense to them, then they can use
that's all that's needed.
That particular focal point.
It doesn't matter what other people think. It makes sense to them, and that allows them to shift and allows the body to heal. And so when they're looking at that shift in from perception to more expansive truth for them, the truth of who they are at a soul level instead of all this other subconscious stuff going in the mind, that can either be drawn by connecting the dots and they figure it out themselves, or it can be just simply that they have this knowingness, this pure knowingness and understanding that suddenly evolves, and that allows them to see a deeper level of truth of who they are and why they're here.
Right. And the Creator made us to be able to go within ourselves and seek the secrets of ourselves for healing or whatever else. But we are afraid of what we might find because of what's happened to us over since we were babies or a lifetime. We have to go within to seek understanding of truth of ourselves.
So also what feeds this is that, especially when you have a healer that is so popular, it may be that the people want to be a part of the phenomenon and a part of the many who say that this technique works. And that's okay. Yeah. It just helps in the healing process.
Yeah, if you have your knee hurts or your hand hurts, or when someone say, "Oh God, heal me, I know you can do this," it doesn't come from the heart. It doesn't come from within. If when you become desperate between life and death, when you become desperate between life and death, and you're willing So create the focal point that you can feel comfortable with, then you can go with your own healing. But just a hurt here, a hurt there, pain here, pain there, you don't believe you can really be healed of that. So you tell somebody, yes, you can heal me, and they try to heal me and give temporary relief or whatever, but down inside, you don't believe that's God. And so it won't go away. Now, there are things that medical doctors can do.
Yeah, I usually prescribe you medicine.
Yeah. And those are Band-Aids.
And yeah, especially Western medicine is not about curing you. It's only about keeping you on medication.
But Chinese
for the rest
medicine
of your life.
has been around for thousands of years based on herbal concoctions. But it has been proven to work over and over. It's too bad we couldn't get Western medicine and Chinese medicine to combine.
Yeah, it would make a really good combination, yes. I think. But in the end, the healing comes from within, and it is leaving the self-illusions behind and aligning yourself to a new understanding of who you really are and the acceptance of that, and stop beating yourself up and and telling yourself what you aren't.
I was cured of cancer. That's a life or death disease that I was cured from back in the 1980s, early 80s. Now I've had surgery for different other things, hernias, etc. But that wasn't life-threatening. And I asked God, well, God, you going to heal me? Well, I wasn't. I had to go through surgery. See, because I did not have that inside threatening between life and death, that I chose that this is what I have to do.
And there's other reasons too that play into it. It's, we're again going into generalities and the spiritual aspects of healings that we have been taught. But we have to factor other things in, like how bad off is the body at the time of the diagnosis. When you have lots of systems that have lots of problems, the recovery is going to be much more difficult.
Much more difficult.
If the disease is very progressed, the recovery is going to be much more difficult. That's reality. So, but if the body is relatively fit and you don't have a whole lot of other systems, meaning your cardiac issues, or you don't have lung problems, you don't have kidney problems, all those are different systems. If they're not affected and you can catch your disease early, then your chances of being able to align your body to heal are much more improved.
More apt to happen. So the secret here is to take care of yourself, exercise,
and love yourself.
Have self-worth.
Have your self-worth, align to who you really are and what your purpose is here on earth, and not listen to what other people are telling you what to do, to like yourself, to love yourself, and to accept who you are, and stop judging and harming yourself in your own thoughts.
Yeah, become neutral, among other things, to cut down your stress and become part. You are part of this huge puzzle. You are a piece of this puzzle.
Visit our website at verdience.com, and at the bottom of the page, you'll find our recent blogs, but up on the menu, you can access all our past blogs. Very interesting lessons. And
the predictions under?
The predictions are in the YouTube, on the YouTube channel, and that would be Renee and Kent Miller.
See, little do I know.
The blogs are concerned only with the lessons.
Anyway, you have a great week. I hope you get something out of this lesson, and let us know what you think of this.
Thank you for joining us.
Take care.
Bye-bye.